Let's begin with the definition of success. So it's an accomplishment of either an aim or a purpose, or in simpler terms, a favourable outcome. But with this, we have an issue because it's heavily strung based on conditioning or certain elements that are split into small chunks that then become an aim or become a purpose in the short term for us to basically aim towards that goal. And when we have a look at how do we actually create our own definition of success, then what we're looking at is going back to basics. And if we have a look at how reality is created, we do it based on how we think, act and feel. So if we're looking at how do we create our own definition of success, then surely it should be centered around one of those three pillars. Because then what we have is we have control over it, and we also have a feedback system that we can monitor moving forwards. And when we build up how we create our own definition of success, the easiest place to start is to actually go back to feelings. And the reason that feelings should then become the definition of success for every individual is because these are things that you have direct access to and can also be used as a guidance system. And the problem that we have with that is when we use feelings historically, we're conditioned, we have patterns, habits and behaviours that are educated to us throughout our childhood. So some people have a connection to their body, their feelings and how they are, but there are also the other side of the fence that are actually disconnected from their feelings due to trauma or due to circumstances or due to individuation, where they are a projection of somebody else due to being subject to that conditioning. So when we have a look at how to create the definition of success and we actually base that around feelings, then what we actually need to do is bring our emotional home. And what I mean by that is we shouldn't have our emotional home in somebody else through an attachment or through an association. Because what that then does is it gives away our control, and it also empowers somebody outside of us to have power over us at any given moment. What I mean by that section would be that if we have a look at success and we condition it, then it's, well, actually, how would mum and dad take this? How would my result impact the people that are around me? And because we do that, we never actually get a true definition of success, because we're not using the guidance system that is the feelings in order to generate the responses to further forward actions in that direction. And obviously your journey is unique to you. So it's time to embrace that journey, and in embracing that journey, we need to get in contact with the feelings that are in a response to the experiences to further develop that control mechanism and also bring that emotional home. And when we do so, we have total control over our own guidance system, and we're not subject to what anybody else is expecting us to be, expecting us to do, expecting us to achieve. And then because of that, we can then start defining what our own success looks like, because we start to aim towards aligned living. And the aligned living element is you doing what is aligned to your purpose or your ultimate aim from a higher level perspective, because you've overcome things like trauma, conditioning, patterns, habits, behaviours, generational problems. And what you're doing is you're breaking away from it and ultimately understanding more about self and finding self. And then that then becomes the new home that you can then work from, because then that gives you the control, it also gives you the power, and it also gives you the empowerment for you to move forward in your desired directions and achieve things in your life that you wish to experience, rather than what you're told you should do based on society and everybody else around it. And once you can get that freedom, and once you can break away, you can start working out exactly what that looks like for you. And all you're doing is just coming back to feelings as that guidance system in order to just validate yourself from a place of not having to look for external validation. But as always, until next time, trust the process, and it's bye for now.